I'm Hailey.
I'm Sean.
And welcome to Hailey Hates Everything.
I pick a surprise topic.
And I get high and opinionated so we can discuss it together.
So grab a snack and hang out with us for
Hailey Hates Everything.
Welcome to another episode of Hailey Hates Everything. It's me, Sean, the co-host, and of course, along with me is Hailey.
What up, podcast fam? What's shaking? How you doing? Hello, Sean.
Hello, Hailey. How you doing today?
I'm okay. I'm all right.
All right, cool.
Overall, pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Well, should we cover some old news before we move on to new stuff?
Oh, what do we got?
I know we had maybe some follow-up stuff about the cartoons.
Oh, we got the He-Man thing.
Yes.
All right, so last episode, we watched Masters of the Universe Revelations. And the title of the episode, of course, was What's the Deal with Skeletor? Because really, there are so many questions. And we've seen a few more episodes since then. More questions. A lot of questions. Like, how do the amphibian dudes swim in the Arctic? And if there are crystals growing instead of icebergs, are those magic? Do they have magic that could be, like, crushed down and turned into powder and put into Castle Grayskull so that it helps the magic or whatever?
Interesting.
There's so many questions, truly. But a big thing is, what the fuck is up with Skeletor? Now, I got some shit from a friend of mine who is also an unofficial correspondent for the podcast. And he was going to be pissed if I was talking shit about Skeletor. I wasn't. He's just concerning. His overall, Skeletor, that is. His overall thing is just very concerning.
He's got a skull for a face.
Yeah, it's a fucking skull for a face. There's no skin there. So, anyway, I had no idea how this came about, but Brandon has sent in information, and I wanted to share it because I think it's really important to know, and I think it makes the whole story of He-Man and Skeletor and everything that's happening more interesting. Okay?
Yeah.
So here's what Brandon says. Keldor, that's Skeletor, that's his old name, okay? Keldor was the half-brother of King Randor. That is fucking Prince Adam, He-Man's dad. All right?
Okay.
So therefore, Skeletor, aka Keldor, is He-Man's uncle, you guys. His uncle. This is some family drama shit.
Yeah.
It's always the uncle going for the nephew, you know?
True.
Outlander, Dougal goes for Jamie. Spoiler alert. And the part that you don't see in the show is that Dougal had already, like, hit Jamie in the head with an axe.
Oh, jeez.
Like, prior.
Yeah.
Jamie went to France, and then he came back. And so when Outlander starts, that's kind of in the timeline where Dougal had gone to get him or something. I don't know. But he had an axe to the head. Because Dougal was trying to get rid of him.
Wow.
Anyway, that was a little tangent. Family drama. Okay, so Skeletor as a human being is the half-brother of He-Man's dad. He was trained in dark magic by some dude named Holodeck, and in an attempt to overthrow the throne, he fought his brother Randor and tried to throw acid on him. That's some Joker shit right there. All right, so Randor, He-Man's dad, deflected the acid at Keldor with his shield and burned his fucking face. So Keldor and his forces retreated and called on Holodeck, the dark magician, to save him. The Holodeck used his dark magic, and all these names are crazy, and stripped away the burned skin to leave only the gaping skull. And then rechristened him Skeletor. So he did some, like, you know, Frankenstein shit.
Yeah.
Peeled the face off. And then said, now you're Skeletor. Because skeleton face. But it sounds kind of like Keldor. So he kind of mashed it up. It's a Benifer situation. So when Skeletor saw himself in his Skeletor form for the first time, apparently he cackled maniacally, and that would become his trademark. Oh, and then Brandon adds, it's actually very similar to the Joker's transformation in the Tim Burton Batman movie.
Yeah, which...
That's right.
I mean, Mark Hamill voices the Joker in the animated Batman series.
That's true.
And Skeletor in this He-Man series.
And I guess they kind of have a similar sound. I know there were some people bitching on the Nerdist site or something about how, he does the same voice for everything. Rah, 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 rah. Don't talk shit about Mark Hamill. I want to see you do a fucking voice like that. Anyway, Brandon sent in all that information about Skeletor before he even listened to the podcast, because I specifically asked him Skeletor questions, and he helped me understand a little bit more. But then he started listening to last week's podcast, and he sent in an audio clip kind of going over some of the things that we talked about. He wanted to join the conversation, which I love, and answer some of our questions and kind of school us on a little bit of the He-Man universe a bit. So
cool.
We're going to listen to that and come back and talk about it.
Sweet.
Okay, so when He-Man and the Masters of the Universe was conceived originally, it was going to be the toy line, and they had these little mini comics that came with them, but I don't believe the cartoon was established yet. They hadn't come up with what they call the series Bible that they do for, a new episode, a new program, where they kind of define who everybody is and like what the relationships are. So basically, originally the idea was it's this world of kind of like wandering barbarians, essentially. You got to think too, this is coming out of the 70s when there was this resurgence of like, Conan the Barbarian was big, the Schwarzenegger movie was in production or had just come out. No, I think was about to come out. So in comics and in fantasy, barbarians were big, and so that's kind of what they wanted to do. But as the series kind of took shape and as it formed, they decided Eternia was going to be this place where kind of the prehistoric existed with the modern technology. It was like a place of science and advancement, and that's where you had the technology with like the lasers and the flying things. But you also had this very primitive side to Eternia, and that was where sort of the wanderings barbarian aesthetic comes in. And you'll notice that Grayskull is very much based in the prehistoric. Everything's like magic and what we would consider witchcraft, but you certainly can't say that in a kids show in the 80s because we had just come out of the heavy metal panic. So you basically had this duality where the royals and the advanced kind of the aristocracy had the technology, and the Guardians of Grayskull were more primitive, but they had equally powerful means to defend Grayskull. And so that was where the two worlds meshed. And of course, like He-Man exists in both because he's Prince Adam, in the aristocracy on the one hand, which very few people know, but then he's also He-Man, defender of the secrets of Grayskull on the other. So he's got one foot firmly in each camp. Yes, there were talking animal people. You had the horses and all that stuff. You got to think, there were only 2 seasons of He-Man. This lasted 2 years. There were just a shit ton of episodes. So you had like the horses and stuff. I think those were actually mechanical. They were like they were creations from sort of like the technology. So Man-at-Arms people would have been creating those things, but they were essentially mechanized horses. But yeah, then you had, there would be episodes where they would go off in the caves and they would come across this like, sort of anthropomorphic animal race that would speak and, have its own culture. So there was a lot of that stuff mixed in. It was very much like a Tolkien-esque fantasy world that they fleshed out and made, into something so much bigger and something that encompassed all of these things. So one episode could go off and feel like, the movie Willow, but then another episode could go off and feel much more futuristic and kind of Blade Runner-ish, and you never really had to be stuck in like one place. Other people did wear the loincloth. You'll notice that even though, I think Man-at-Arms is a good example, even though he's got the orange, like chest plate, and he's wearing basically what would be like knight armor for that world. His, for lack of a better word, codpiece, I mean, his drawers are still like furry. He's still like, wearing something that was like, taken from some animal hide and fashioned into this thing. I believe Skeletor's is as well. A lot of those guys have that stuff. But if you also meant talking animal people like Clawful, the crab dude, and let's see, there was Beastman, obviously. Like, yeah, all these guys were there from the beginning. It wasn't really something that evolved through the seasons. I think the only thing that did get fleshed out later on was like Hordak and the Evil Horde, which is where Skeletor was trained in the dark, like dark magic. He learned from Hordak. Hordak is also the one who I think separated He-Man and She-Ra at birth. And She-Ra was kind of abducted and taken to, was it Etheria was the name of her planet? And she was kind of like an evil servant of Hordak until she realized who she was and what her lineage was. Also, I don't believe that Adam's father was abusive in the original series. That was a shock to me too. I think that in the beginning they always just played it up where, of course, they were a loving, mother and father, but he didn't suspect, obviously, that Adam was He-Man. His mother always did. You could tell in the original series his mother kind of had a feeling that Adam was He-Man. But no, there was never this I wish I could, proud of you and stuff like that. That was kind of a new thing that kind of surprised me a little bit, but I get it because, it's 2021 now and we do have to sort of put a little bit more depth into some of these characters. So I can forgive that not so accurate take on the original, King Randor, whatever. Now I'm going to go back and listen to more of the podcast. I just had all of this stuff as I was listening that I wanted to get down and send your way. I love that you're talking about this and watching this show, and I just wanted to be in on the conversation, so here I am.
Thank you, He-Man historian. He's our official He-Man historian for
Indeed.
Hailey Hates Everything. And I love that. All right, so there was some stuff I didn't know that there were only 2 seasons of He-Man.
No, when I was a kid, I could have sworn that was a multi-year.
Yeah,
thing that
I
I've
feel like it
watched.
was around so much.
Yeah.
As a kid that I
That's
don't
crazy.
remember. And like I said, I loved She-Ra too, but I don't even remember how young I was when I started watching it. I mean, it had to have been mid to late 80s, right? When I would have started 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Or any of us, really, not just me. But I just remember kind of surface stuff. I mean, obviously, I was a child, so
Yeah.
I'm not taking in all of the extra stuff, and I haven't rewatched it, I guess, in adulthood to really understand all of the complexities of the family relations and that kind of thing. To me, She-Ra was brighter and fun, and she had the Pegasus and the cute outfit, and and she was equally powerful, which I don't feel like there were many powerful women really in that time, and so that
true.
was new to me, and I don't remember all of those extra details and the story. So this is really intriguing to me, and it actually makes me want to go back and watch the original He-Man if I can find it somewhere, so I can see it from the beginning and watch She-Ra and really kind of see the world and understand the family drama and the all this craziness, because that some of the animal people were creations, mechanical creations.
Yeah.
That's new to me. That surprised me. And how offensive is that to the animal people who are actual people, like flesh and bone,
Yeah.
Where you just got mechanical.
Well, I think there was
horse people. Or...
There's mechanical horses. I don't know if there's mechanical horse people.
Oh, okay. So maybe that's what he was referring to
I
as
think
mechanical
so.
horses.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought he just went into the animal people because they were walking around, right? And I didn't know they existed in that world. Okay. I understand.
And then I don't know if you know, in the last few years, they had a new She-Ra series, I think, on Netflix.
I
prior
probably zoned it out.
Yeah.
Because I don't tend to like when things get redone from my childhood, so I just kind of overlook it. But I guess I'm now, after seeing this He-Man, I'm willing to look into things a little more. Not just say, fuck you, get out of my face.
Yeah.
You're fucking with shit that you shouldn't be fucking with. I think I can give things a little bit more of a chance now.
Yeah.
Because I've been enjoying this He-Man. I think we're only maybe 4 episodes in at this point in time.
Oh, yeah, geez, yeah. Yeah, there isn't all that many episodes in this.
Oh, okay, so we should work on
in this
that.
part 1, at least. In theory, there's a part 2? I don't know.
Also, touching on things that Brandon said, getting back to that, I like that the idea of this world being where you can run into anything. Like he said, some are more sort of mystical, magical times, and then sometimes it's more
technological.
Yeah, technological or something. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of that. And then getting to the loincloths. once he mentioned Man-at-Arms and Skeletor also kind of wearing a loincloth, I vaguely remember that. Like the action figures.
Yeah, because they all had like swole thighs. They were,
Yeah,
like,
oh, massive. Tree trunk thighs, if you will.
and smooth, like
Oh,
no
yeah.
hair.
No hair. So jealous.
Yeah.
So jealous. They don't have to spend an hour in the shower.
They were technologically advanced. They probably had better laser hair removal.
Jackasses.
Yeah.
Come on now. Why? This is 2021. We need better hair removal. I don't want to spend all my time shaving my legs. Come on now. And to laser that, it's going to take years. All right?
Yeah.
Anyway. Loincloths. I remember the action figures kind of having that. Like, Skeletor's was like baby blue. And, right?
Yeah,
and it kind of,
something
it
like
had
that,
the sort of furry texture to it.
Purple. Yeah, I can't remember.
And then with the Man-at-Arms, I remember him having this fuzzy diaper, essentially. And I didn't remember that until Brandon said something. And I remember my brother's action figures. And he did kind of have this fur diaper.
Mm-hmm.
Little undies. Draws, if you will. So I do remember that. But I guess He-Man got the sexier version, where it's just like free-flowing, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Does he have a metal underwear on underneath, or does he have some kind of covering made of fur underneath? Do we know? Is it just fabric? Because he has the belt that keeps it all together.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
It's like a big-ass metal belt. I want to look into the fashion of the He-Man universe. That kind of goes with my aesthetic. I like fashion. I want to see what people are wearing. So I'll have to look into that. I want to look at pictures. I want to see what's happening there fashion-wise.
Yeah. You could, I mean, if you want to really dig into it, you can watch the live-action movie.
I don't know. I'm going to go that far. Is that the one with Dolph Lundgren?
You know it.
My mom loved him. She was into like bodybuilder dudes. And I guess a lot of women in the 80s were. That was kind of the aesthetic was like.
My mom was big into Schwarzenegger and stuff.
She still is, and it grosses me out.
Van Damme.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm. I mean, he's got a nice ass, but that's about all he's got going for him. Anyway, no beef with Van Damme. Also, She-Ra being abducted. I don't really remember that. I don't remember the heavier things from those shows. And I do remember that she didn't know that she had a brother, right? I kind of vaguely remember that. And I thought, how great would that be? Because my brother was not fun to be around. But I find that so interesting, and it really does make me want to go back and watch everything from an adult perspective and see the deeper meanings and all of the heavier stuff within these cartoons.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Absolutely. So thank you, Brandon, so much.
Yes,
we love having you as an official He-Man historian. Thank you so much, Brandon, for the information. It actually makes it more interesting to me, and I really appreciate you diving deep on that. I really appreciate that. So, yeah, we definitely wanted to go over that top of the show.
Yeah.
Because that's so crazy to me. But I like hearing the backstory.
And also, the other thing that hit directly after last episode is Netflix has a brand new He-Man and the Masters of the Universe animated series.
Oh, fuck.
That a trailer came out for, which is like a reimagining of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
It's like if you took anime characters and wanted to put them in an animated music video, but they were also kind of video game-ish.
Yeah.
This is what you get with this He-Man. It's very millennial, or I think millennials might be offended, because then Generation Z, right, is younger than millennials. So it's probably more of Gen Z. There were a lot of like jokey things. It's much more lighthearted.
Yeah.
And after seeing the more serious stuff and then learning about the whole family drama, I don't want it to be lighthearted. I want the deep shit. I want to hear about all of the drama.
I did hear in that trailer where they're like, "Don't you remember me? It's Keldor, your uncle."
Well, yeah, in the trailer for this other He-Man, they did actually show the guy, and he looked like a little wizard, and like he thought he was sexy, like because that was the picture that Brandon sent me was from an old, the cartoon face or whatever. But they had a similar look about them. like a mustachioed, evil guy kind of. And so they did mention Keldor in this new one.
Yeah.
Which may be the only good thing about it is that it kind of starts from the beginning and has that whole story that I don't remember from when I was a kid. But I mean, cool, okay, children can then learn about He-Man, great, but at what cost? Because they're just like these skinny, floppy-haired teenagers who are making like, jokes, and I don't know. And there was only a little clip of Orko, but he looked jazzed up somehow, and like, how come everybody looks so much thinner? They made everybody so much thinner. Hate that too. And then Cringer is totally different. Cringer is no longer riddled with anxiety. He's just hanging out and trying to help folks.
He's one of the Masters of the Universe. That seems to be the changes, is various people have powers now, as well as He-Man, Prince Adam.
Okay, if he can talk and he's, so thought-provoking and he's a master of the universe, why would he be somebody's pet? I mean, essentially.
Yeah.
I'm worried for Cringer.
I'm betting first season, maybe second season, they somehow have to combine their powers.
Oh, yeah, they're going to parabatai that shit. Parabatai is from Shadowhunters, you guys. Which is a whole nother thing. Back in the time, 2020, during this thing called a pandemic, Sean and I got obsessed with Shadowhunters. It's just ridiculous. It's like Twilight had a weird high school baby. And I love high school shows. I didn't think I was going to like it. I thought that I could just hate watch it. But I enjoyed it. It's definitely like a guilty pleasure type thing. It was very enjoyable to watch. We got into it. We binged the whole thing. And then I got us Parabatai keychains. So
Indeed.
Anyway, we're not like hardcore Shadowhunters fans, but we did enjoy the show. But I heard the books are way better.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And did we watch the movie as well? There's a movie. We watched that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Not as good. I didn't like it.
Yeah, it might be like Shadowhunters City of Bones, something like that.
Yeah, it had a longer title.
Yeah.
And Jonathan Rhys-Meyers was the bad guy or whatever in it. And the casting was all off to me, and there's not as much meat, because at least with a TV show you get an extended period to like learn about stuff.
Yeah.
And with the movie you only have a certain amount of time, and I didn't like that. I want more meat. Give me more protein in my media,
Yeah. Real quick before we get completely off He-Man, I feel like we should dub Brandon the He-Man correspondent for the podcast, and he should watch the new He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Oh, and then let us know what he thinks about it? I like that idea. All right, well, Brandon, if you're listening, are you willing to watch this new Insano He-Man? And then let us know what you think. Hit me up.
Are you ready for the topic for this week?
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah. Okay.
So I scoured some stuff and decided to try and make this a little bit more lighthearted because it can go all over the place.
Okay. I'm sure I'll take it all over the place.
We're going to go with conspiracy theories.
Oh Lord. This ought to be fun.
But I'm going to try and keep it away from just down and depressing, hopefully.
Right. So are you going to go more like UFO, Sasquatch, or are you doing other stuff?
That would be another good one. The problem is it's like...
So we're not even talking about UFOs and Sasquatch?
I don't know. But see, you don't really hate UFOs or Sasquatch, I don't feel.
I know, but they're still conspiracy theories.
All right, we can get into them.
All right, let it be.
To.
You're the one that decides the topic.
All right.
I'll let it be what you want it to be. Hit me with something, and I'll toss back a hard ball. I don't know, what do you call it when it's a good ball? I'll shoot it in the basket, and you can bounce it back over. I don't know what the term. Throw the pigskin and run with it.
Well, I was also combining another kind of favorite pastime of mine, which is like ruining your childhood.
Oh yeah, you love that. And I will say, it takes a lot of effort to ruin my childhood because it was already pretty shitty. So Sean is really working at it because the bar was really low, and then he's got to dig into the ground. So, looking forward to it.
So I found some, I don't know, they're not that bad, I think, but like some Disney conspiracy theories about like some of the animated series and stuff, and some conspiracy theories about maybe some of the toys that we grew up with and stuff.
Uh-oh. All right. Okay.
So I think we'll start out with the Disney one. There'll be a link to the YouTube video. It's only like 10 minutes, so It's not bad. And we'll come back to it.
10 minutes of Disney conspiracy theories? Jesus Christ. That's insane. That is fucking crazy. Like, Walt Disney was a racist, and there you go.
This doesn't even go into that.
They don't even go into that?
No.
And
Like I said, I was trying to keep it a little bit more lighthearted than going into like...
Yeah,
but I don't know if that's necessarily a conspiracy theory either, that Walt Disney was a racist.
I wouldn't count that as a conspiracy. I'm just saying the people who didn't like it, they would count it as a conspiracy.
Oh, yeah. I get
like,
that.
oh, no, that can't be. Mickey Mouse isn't racist. Well... Maybe not now, but, he started questionably. So, he's turned himself around. That's what it's all about.
Indeed.
Toot, toot.
All right, so we'll be back and talk about the first video.
Okay.
And we're back from watching that YouTube video about Disney animated conspiracy theories, which I figured you'd hate.
Yeah. One word for this video. Reaching. Reaching. So, oh my Lord.
I did mark down 7, what? 3 sighs, and only 1 like, no.
Well, some of them were actually kind of interesting. But overall, just like, what the fuck? I guess someone got high, like me, and thought about this stuff too much. Because, like I said, some of them I find interesting. And I'm like, why didn't I think of that? That's, wow. That sounds like something I might come up with.
Okay.
Even though overall, why waste your time on this?
Yeah.
Just seems like a waste of time. So I'm putting my energies towards other things, like getting high and just rambling on a podcast. So the first one, I think I wrote down almost all of them, but we'll see what calls to me. But the first one, my God, is that the movie Rapunzel, like the newer
Tangled.
one. Oh, well, it's about Rapunzel.
Yes. Yeah.
Tangled, but I think she has a different name. Whatever. Anyway, it's based on Rapunzel. Spoiler alert. So Tangled predicts the pandemic. That is the thing that someone has come up with. Because Rapunzel had to stay in the tower, so she was quarantined.
Isolated.
No, she just had a bitch-ass mom. That's what the real was. Because I very much relate to Tangled. In fact, seeing that, I want to watch it again. Like, tonight. Because I definitely relate to her. Her mother was jealous of her and she locked her away, and she didn't want her to have any fun because her mother hated herself and was miserable, so she wanted her daughter to also be miserable. Indeed. Very relatable. So this was saying that Rapunzel being locked away was her quarantining. That's how they were predicting the quarantine.
You're leaving out the big thing about it.
I know, I have a list.
Okay.
I'm getting to it.
All right.
We're starting from the beginning of the movie. Yes. When they showed stuff. No, her mom was just a fucking bitch. Then, because she goes to the island of Corona, then that's also predicted. No, it's just like coinkydink. It's just a coincidence that's the name they chose. It sounds, I guess, exotic enough. That it could be some island that a princess goes to. Corona.
Now, if the bad guy's name was like COVID or something, then
right?
I'd go, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd be like, oh, now this has weight to it. But no, that's not what happens. They also say that then Flynn comes into her life and he represents all the fun we can have post-pandemic. Yeah. Come on now. That's too much. You hit me with a quarantine and a corona, I can say, Whatever. That's just stupid. Like you said, if the villain was COVID or some kind of thing. No, y'all ain't got no legs to stand on.
Yeah. If it was Divok, like COVID backwards, then it'd be like,
oh my God.
whoa,
You
okay.
thought about that for a moment.
This is real.
All right, yeah. Then you can be like, sure.
I'm sure somebody's got some sort of theory that puts that all together.
I don't want to hear it. So then they talk about the little Monsters Inc. girl, the little dark-haired one.
Oh, yes.
I don't even know if I've seen Monsters Inc. actually.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think this is one of the
much
sequels.
about her.
I can't even remember anymore.
Okay, well, they're saying that girl learns how to time travel.
She uses the portal doors that the monsters use.
Learns how to time travel, and then is also the witch in Brave.
Yeah.
Because there's a Sully on a container, a wooden container.
And that witch can travel through doors to different places.
Yeah.
So they obviously tie together.
Seeing the Sully-like character on the thing in the witch's house, that gave me pause. Because I was like, because they're in Scotland. Scotland doesn't really have bears or big predators like that.
Isn't there bears in the Brave movie, though?
Oh, I think there is.
Yeah.
Well, that's a motherfucking thing. They didn't think about that. It's been a long time since I've seen Brave, although I like it.
Maybe they used to have bears? I don't know.
We should watch it. Because you did say if I was like any Disney princess, it would be the girl in Brave.
Oh, yeah.
And I appreciate that. Because I always think of me as like Cinderella.
Yeah.
A bitch of a stepmom. She knows. Okay, this is not news to her. She's not going to listen to this because it's not about Jesus. So I don't have to worry about her hearing it, but she already knows what I think of her. So I always see myself as a Cinderella. Dead dad, shitty stepmom, doing all of the odds and ends. Like, I'm not even going to get into that. Oh, the things I could say. But I appreciate that you thought I was the brave girl. Yeah, so the thing is, they think the Monsters Inc. girl is the witch in Brave because she can travel through the doors and there's a Sully on something.
Yeah.
And did I already say all that?
I think so, yeah.
Fuck. And there's bears in Brave, and there's not... I don't think there's bears in Scotland. There's no big predators like that.
Yeah. I think like there's some wild cats of Scotland that are the biggest predators, I think. I guess they got wolves or something, right?
Yeah, they had wolves at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know if the population is going now or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll have to look into it.
And next up, one of your favorite movies.
The Little Mermaid.
Indeed.
I love The Little Mermaid. I've loved it since I was 10 years old when it came out. I still have my Little Mermaid washcloth from the towel set.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
That I got when I was 10. And that washcloth still looks great. You can see the design. It doesn't have holes in it. It's not all like fucking frayed and stuff.
You have to take a picture
I
of it.
will have to take a picture. So yeah, I have a 31-year-old washcloth. And it's great. I love it. It's very soft. It's one of my favorite washcloths. It's a wonder it's not disintegrated, but
Yeah,
I take good
true.
care of my shit.
Yeah.
I take good care of my shit. So the theory is that Ariel's mom, Athena, is one of the mermaids in Peter Pan who fuck with Wendy. Now, is it interesting if it's true? Sure, whatever. But all they're basing this on is that two of the mermaids have red hair and one of them kind of looks like Ariel.
And the mermaids were afraid of the pirates, and Ariel's mom was killed by pirates.
Yeah, but she wouldn't have known that then. She would have been a teenager or something. Or, I mean, how do mermaids age? We don't know.
Well, maybe the pirates killed her in revenge for something she was doing over in Peter Pan Land or in Neverland and stuff.
Oh, is that what they're saying?
I don't
That
know.
because the mermaids were afraid of Captain Hook, that they somehow tracked down the red-headed mermaid who fucked with somebody, even though there were tons of mermaids who were fucking with people. I mean, they're supposed to be like sirens, right? I mean, they wanted to blame... So they made these girls bullies because mermaids were generally thought to be sirens, yeah?
Yeah.
Calling the men. Oh, the men wanted to blame someone for their stupid shit. Oh, we were so dumb that we ran into rocks. It wasn't our fault. It wasn't our fault.
Yeah, really.
It was women's fault. mermaids. They were calling to us. They were showing us their titties, and we couldn't help it. We ran into the rocks. It was their fault.
Oh, that's true.
There's a conspiracy theory, okay?
Very true.
So do I buy it? No. There can be tons of mermaids. And so what? Somebody kind of looks like Ariel. So what? It's called Disney's drawing style.
Yeah, really.
Which comes into another thing later on. Ugh. And then, okay, so then the other one is Aladdin is some kind of post-apocalyptic future 10,000 years from now or whatever.
Yep, exactly.
Because the genie said he had been in the lamp for 10,000 years.
Yep.
But he was talking about the 3rd century.
Yeah, that Aladdin's clothes were 3rd century, and that he's been locked in the fucking lamp for 10,000 years. And then plus, he has like all these references that are from
1992.
Yeah, 1992. And then, it's possible that the flying carpet is actually some sort of futuristic device that AI device that's able to fly, and Iago can talk because maybe it's like a mutation or some sort of technology that allows a parrot to actually talk and converse.
Are they saying it was like some Planet of the Apes shit, but a bird?
Yeah.
Is that what they're saying?
Something like that.
My God, no, this was too much for me. I'm too high to handle the math, first of all. Don't hit me with numbers when I'm high. I can't handle it. So what is the math? So they're saying that he must have been around for the 3rd century, but how can he know 1992 when he's been in the lamp for 10,000 years? Is that correct?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Okay, so why don't they also ask the questions, well, how does time move in the lamp? Yeah. Is time different in the lamp? Is he just in some kind of like Tron world where there's no up or down and everything's just blank space with lines and shit?
Yeah.
Is he living some other life within the lamp that makes time move slower or faster or whatever than outside of the lamp? We don't know that. So I don't think we can say definitively that this is a future situation. And also, he can still know about fashion of the ancients and 1992. He's a fucking genie. I'm sure he can time travel. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. He's magic. He's fucking magic. He is a goddamn genie. Wow. And also, he can read books and he can watch TV.
Sure.
He can do whatever. Maybe he knows everything about all of time. We don't know. He's not specific about that. Maybe he's just trying to relate to Aladdin in a way that will make Aladdin entertained.
I got a better theory. What if Aladdin is more like a Matrix type situation?
Oh, Lord, with the Matrix.
The genie is, some sort of AI program who's able to change the laws of the virtual world and give people whatever they want. And that's why he knows about everything in the past, because it's all within his memory.
If that's the case, I would like to go into that Matrix. Because there's some things I want that I will ask the genie for. Okay? I think that would be great. It's kind of like how I want a holodeck. So I can do whatever I want. With whomever I want. I think that would be great. I could walk through a forest from wherever in the world I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
A holodeck would be amazing. Also, I want the transporter. I want to just shimmer into the place that I want to go without having to get in an airplane, get in a car, be in traffic. Lord, just shimmer. Let's just shimmer to Italy for some pasta. And then shimmer back home so I can sleep in my own bed. Indeed. That would be fucking fantastic. So if the genie is a Matrix, I'll rub a lamp. I'd like to try it out.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Then we go to Nemo, and this one is dark, but it's also something that I felt I would come up with because it is dark and it reminds me a lot of our Winx Club chat. When we talked about the redneck troll and how he was schizophrenic and he was hearing voices and that whole thing. I mean, I came up with that. That I guess would also be considered a conspiracy theory.
Indeed,
maybe I don't hate conspiracy theories as much as I thought.
Oh my gosh!
Because sometimes I make this shit up on the fly, and it's pretty accurate, and it seems pretty correct. You know, like
yeah.
I don't think I've been wrong that much before.
Yeah, I mean, some of this stuff could be, writers' own, past traumatic experiences applying to their work and stuff.
See, this is why I want to write. I just want to start writing more because I feel like I could come up with some good shit that incorporates my pain and grief and trauma into, I don't know, cool characters, interesting storyline, lessons learned. So let's add that to the bucket list. Hailey writes a book.
Okay, yeah.
It could be a novel. It could be a memoir. Whatever. I also have wanted to write children's books based on my dog Miss P, who y'all can't meet now because she died in 2012. But I wanted to write children's books based on her and her life. And maybe, who knows, maybe I'll still do it. It's on the list. So anyway, this Nemo one is one I thought I would come up with.
Yeah.
Which it says that Nemo and his whole family, except for his dad, get killed by a barracuda attack.
Yeah.
And Nemo's dad is grieving and can't accept the loss. And the whole movie kind of portrays the stages of grief. And in the different situations that happen in which he first thinks that Nemo is still alive and is talking to him and pretending to take him to school and all of this, all the way through accepting the loss of him and moving on with his life. Oh, that makes it more interesting to me. That's a movie I want to watch.
Yeah.
Because there's juice there. There's meat. You juice it, meat it, whatever. It's there, and I like that. And then, same deal, we get to Up.
Yeah.
And also, one of the fucking saddest movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, that beginning part.
We saw it in the theater. Because we thought, oh, it's a Pixar movie. Cool.
Yeah.
No. Hailey was bawling. Hailey was sobbing her eyes out. There were so many packs of Kleenexes needed. I was snotting everywhere. That ripped me apart, that beginning.
Yeah.
I have never watched it since then.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever watched it again. It was...
No, I can't deal.
Yeah, the beginning was pretty rough.
Yeah, it was very rough. And when did it come out?
Oh, here's another reason why it hit us particularly hard. It came out in 2009, a year after we got married.
That's what I was going to say. I thought it was 2009. And I was going to say that was the year after we got married.
Yeah.
And so we were newlyweds and I was just beside myself. And I'm already terrified of death and all of that fun stuff. So I was not having it. I want to start crying right now just thinking about it. So the conspiracy theory is that this guy loses his house and whatever else, all of his money, whatever.
Yeah, his wife
I forget
died,
what happened.
everything.
Okay. She died. I didn't know what else happened. Probably after that, I just lost it. But the theory is that after all of this, then he dies in his sleep and his house going up in the air and all of this is like his soul descending into heaven and like passing on to the next whatever.
And the little Boy Scout is actually an angel.
Like a spirit guide or something.
Yep, trying to gain its wings and help him on that transition.
The dog is his journey and Bird is the muse that carries him to the afterlife. It was something crazy.
I don't know.
It's just, I get why someone would come up with this, but also like, why? Just let it go. It's already sad enough. It is already sad enough. And like Coco is actually about the afterlife, right? I haven't seen it because it looks like I'm going to cry the entire time. So I haven't watched it yet, and I've heard it's great, and I'm sure it is, but maybe sometime, but not right now. Okay, and then the next one is about Jessie the cowgirl in Toy Story, which it's been so long since I've seen the Toy Story movies that I barely remember any.
Yeah.
Like I know the main sort of characters, but I don't really remember a whole lot about it.
Yeah.
I think it was like a little bit younger, of folks. It started coming out, versus like Little Mermaid and stuff when I was 10.
Yeah.
So the Toy Story one is about Jessie actually being a toy that was owned by the kid's mom that she got rid of. And that's why Jessie's so pissed off or doesn't like people and all this stuff. I get it. I think that's interesting. And the little boy was wearing a hat that looked like Jessie's hat and not Woody's hat.
Yeah, exactly.
So I buy it. I can buy it. And that adds a little extra something to that one.
Yeah.
Makes it more interesting.
And the next one's for Emperor's New Groove. I'm not even sure I've seen that movie.
I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah.
And I didn't write that one down at all because it didn't resonate with me, and I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I don't
There's
think.
something about, like, only animals that can talk are one set where humans made into animals, and then there's, like, a fly who gets eaten by a spider who talked, so...
So the main guy, as a llama, witnessed the murder of another person in animal form?
And then, of course, Frozen...
Okay, this one. Woo boy.
Yeah, they're pulling it all together.
This one is a whopper of a tale. So, in this one, the parents, Elsa and Anna's parents, get lost at sea. They die. At their funeral, who shows up? Flynn and Rapunzel from Tangled are there.
Yeah.
And the theory is that their parents were at the wedding?
The parents took a boat to go to the wedding.
Oh, okay. So the theory is... Okay, let's start over. The theory is that Elsa and Anna's parents from Frozen, they took a boat to go to the Rapunzel and Flynn wedding.
Yes.
And on the way there, of course, there's a storm. They get lost. And in the Frozen movie, at their funeral, you can see Flynn and Rapunzel coming to that event. Yep. Within the Frozen world because of the guilt they felt at the parents dying on the way to their wedding.
Yeah.
Then the other part of that is that the parents don't actually die in the storm. They actually get washed up on an island, and the mom finds out she's pregnant, and they have a baby.
Yep.
And that baby becomes Tarzan. So Tarzan, they're saying, is the brother of Elsa and Anna from Frozen.
Yeah.
And that Rapunzel is probably their cousin.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I was kind of riveted by that one because it was very reaching, but also like, okay, that's, I guess, that makes it interesting, but nuts.
Yeah.
But then, none of these things have like a specific timeline, I feel. I don't think of Tarzan and that kind of thing as being more present to that time. Like, it seems like Elsa and Anna's time is farther back than sort of Tarzan and stuff.
Yeah.
What stories are you using? What are you only using the Disney universe and that kind of thing? But even so, I don't think Tarzan was in the same sort of time period.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me. And then there was the Snow White one, which I thought was insane. They're basically saying she's dead. Yeah. And that she died after she ate the apple.
Died.
And that the prince, when he comes to kiss her, is actually death. And she wakes up and tells the dwarves goodbye.
Yeah, he's the Grim Reaper.
And then
gives her the kiss of death.
The prince takes her to a castle that's supposed to be heaven.
Yeah.
They also make a really big deal about it being morally questionable. Is that just because he kissed her while she was asleep?
I guess, yeah.
I mean, 1, there was a fucking curse. He had to kiss her to wake her up. 2, if there's a cute guy that really likes me, he can give me a smooch while I'm asleep. It's not a big deal. He doesn't rape her. He gives her a smooch. I don't see the issue with that. Now, if he was just like fucking with her, if he didn't give a shit about her, leave her alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he wasn't like inappropriate. He didn't grab her boob while he did it.
Yeah.
He gently kissed her to hopefully wake her up because he thought she was beautiful and he wanted to get with her.
Yeah. Yeah.
In like a romantic, lifelong way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how that's so questionable. And they make this big deal about the castle in the mist being heaven. He's a fucking prince. They're going to a castle. That just seems bizarre to me to make that into a big deal. Because he's a prince. It's obviously a castle. They're traveling. They're on horseback. It's going to be far away. The mist happens in real life. It's not just like Cloud City.
True.
So that one, So this video had potential. There were some interesting, debatable things. But I don't know why it ended on such a lame note. Because the whole Snow White thing, ugh, throw it away.
Yeah.
But it was fun to talk about.
I know another one I'd seen. I forget if it was probably during investigating this stuff. Was that in Frozen, the handsome guy with reindeer, that he had actually like killed the reindeer's mom because he's obviously wearing a jacket made out of reindeer.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How bold of him.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And that's why the reindeer was like, a friend to him and everything, because he had the scent of the reindeer's mom.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Damn. That got twisted dark right quick. I thought maybe dude had enslaved the reindeer, being like, I'm going to kill you the way I killed your mom. But he's just following him around because he has her scent? That's terrible. My God. I will say, I've only seen Frozen once, and the reindeer was the best character. I remember liking the reindeer. Everybody else can fuck off. I wasn't blown away by it.
We're going to watch one about a conspiracy theories about some toys around the time when we grew up, for the most part. We're back from the, 10 creepiest toy conspiracy theories or something like that.
Wow. That was crazy. I laughed a lot.
Indeed.
Oh my goodness. It's insane, you guys. I don't even know if you're going to believe what I'm going to tell you about it. Jesus. Okay. Let's start with Cabbage Patch Dolls. So the theory is that they were based on the effects of radiation from Chernobyl.
From a nuclear holocaust, like
Chernobyl.
The fallout from that.
Yeah, the side effects.
Yeah. Would cause people to look
puffy faced.
Yeah, like a Cabbage
Patch doll.
So it was to help acclimate all of us to what we're going to look like once nuclear holocaust happens.
Which it's not true, but it seems so offensive to people who have actually had effects of radiation or died in a Holocaust or Chernobyl.
Yeah.
Like, how fucking offensive. Mm-hmm. Like, we're making a toy for everyone so they get acclimated to how scary and awful you're going to look and how we're all going to look when we're just minutes away from dying. That is fucked up. Yeah. Who came up with that? That's craziness.
Yeah. I don't know.
I never had a true Cabbage Patch doll. It was never my jam. I think my friend Jennifer had one or two that she really liked, but I never got into them. One, because I never wanted to have kids. Like any kind of baby doll or whatever I had, it was because I wanted to dress her up in cute clothes and play with her hair. Like, I've always been into clothes and makeup and hair and that kind of thing. Because I never wanted kids, like, ever. I was never the little girl that like thought about putting a baby in a stroller and being a mom and like taking care of it. I didn't want that duty. I wanted to dress it up and make it look cute, and just I would rather play in like a play kitchen or be a princess or something like that. I was never really into like baby dolls, you know? I think I moved on to Barbies, and like I had My Little Ponies. I got to brush their hair and put on cute little accessories, and they got to have adventures. And then with my Barbies, again, it was about their clothes and their hair and setting up their house and like decorating things. I would make little shoebox dioramas of their bedrooms where I would get, you know how cassette singles they came in the paper cover, and so I would cut it off and make it into a poster, and I'd put it up on the walls of the shoebox room. And so I had different shoebox rooms, and they were decorated. I think I had like Lisa Stansfield, Jodie Watley, Debbie Gibson. These Barbies had really great taste in music. And it was really fun for me.
Yeah.
I liked all of that aspect of it. I didn't want Barbie and Ken to get married and have kids. I wanted her to be able to enjoy her life and hook up with Joe McIntyre's doll anytime she wanted. Because I had all the New Kids dolls. Anyway, but my mom did make a couple of Cabbage Patch-like dolls. She would make these dolls out of canvas. They had like movable arms and legs. She put a lot of work into this.
Huh.
Something my mom could do well was make a doll. They had yarn for hair, and she'd paint their little faces on, so their eyes looked really cool. And I probably still have the doll that she had made me, because she made me one first, and then I know she made some for friends and stuff. But they had a similar sort of Cabbage Patch doll look, but maybe a little older than like a baby, you know. But I loved that doll, and I could dress her up and stuff. And my mom would sew clothes for the dolls and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I know that she made puppets for some endeavor that her friends and her were doing. She puppeted a skunk character, and she made the puppets for this show. So anyway, that's my whole Cabbage Patch tangent.
Well, do you remember? Here, I'll put this on the TV. I don't know if you remember this.
Oh, the preemies. Yeah.
Teeny tiny Cabbage Patch Kids. Teeny tiny I can't say teeny tiny preemies.
Yeah.
So they had an actual doll that was like about a
premature
birth.
Yeah, who usually they're not doing well at first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really understood that, because I thought, isn't preemie like, that's not a good thing?
Yeah.
You don't want your kid to be a preemie because they're not fully developed, and why are we celebrating this?
I know. I can't imagine like the parents who'd had struggles with having a premature baby
and then
stuff,
someone
like seeing
they're
these
marketing
things
premature babies. Yeah, it's fucking insulting. It's awful.
So bad.
Extra small, extra soft, extra snuggly. Also baby powder scented. That's another reason I didn't like a lot of Cabbage Patch dolls. They smelled like babies, and I don't like the way babies smell. I don't like I fucking hate baby powder. I think it's a disgusting smell. I don't like it.
When I was a kid, I got a knockoff My Butts.
Oh, did you?
As
what was
far
he
as
called?
I got into it.
Like My Pal? Or...
Yeah, it's like My Pal or something like that, yeah.
I think my brother might have had that one too.
It was a lot cheaper than a My Buddy.
Yeah.
All right, the next one, I think that one got the biggest laugh.
This
fantastic.
It's so absurd. So this one is about Beanie Babies, and it's about how they would use brown recluse spider eggs to fill the Beanie Babies instead of the little beads they had in them. And these spider eggs were somehow magic because they were supposed to hatch 20 years after they were implanted in the Beanie Babies. Yeah. This is the theory, which is incredibly ridiculous. Just because someone posted a picture of spider babies on a Beanie Baby and it was like a joke or something, and people believe it.
Yep, exactly.
You know, we don't just have stupid people in present time. They've been around since the beginning of the world. Stupid people have always been there.
Yeah.
And there they were in 1980, whatever. I don't remember when Beanie Babies were like huge. Was it the 90s? It's like mid 90s.
Yeah, it's got to be something like that.
And so then the next one also, stupid people, where a Minion toy from McDonald's, like a kind of like a wind up one that would say words. the battery was running low. It was running out of juice, and I guess it would curse when you pressed it or whatever. And because the word was slower, I guess it sounded like a curse word. Yeah. This is just holier than thou people reaching for something to hate. Because they still don't have enough things to hate.
Yeah.
They're always looking.
Plus, this was probably around the time when like the big, all the lawsuits were going on, you know, where someone gets burned by hot coffee at McDonald's and wins all that money. So they're like trying to find everything.
Yeah. I saw an article about that lady, the hot coffee lady.
Yeah.
I guess she's like hella old now. Or I don't know, maybe she's dead. I don't remember. I don't know how old. I didn't pay attention to it because I was like, what a fucking dumbass. It's hot coffee. Don't spill it on yourself. It's your fault. Yeah. It's hot coffee. What do you expect it to be? Room temperature? And so, anyway, I saw this article. Someone posted it somewhere. It could have been Facebook. I don't know. I just kind of scroll through shit. And there was a comment on it from someone like, oh, I saw the pictures of her burns and they were really bad. Why didn't people take her more seriously? Yeah, burns suck. Burns hurt. They're bad. You know, when you spill hot coffee on you, it fucking hurts, but it's still your fault. And you know it's hot coffee because it's called hot coffee.
Yeah.
So I just, I don't get it. So just people reaching. So then there was one about, I don't know, the next two, I don't even think we need to get into.
Yeah.
It was some about an arcade game spying on people at arcades, and one about a Barbie in a wheelchair. That was just kind of ridiculous. Yeah. And then we get to Pokemon's causing cancer because there's some kind of cancer-causing gene that was named poly whatever octobubba. Yeah. And
where the acronym
where it's spelled Pokemon.
Yeah, the acronym for this gene becomes Pokemon.
Yeah.
A cancer-causing gene. So there, of course, the Pokemon people had to sue the scientific research, you know, to not call it Pokemon.
It's just a waste of time and money. A waste of time and money.
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit that irritates me. Also, the pricey Beanie Babies, which is the next one. That it's just insane that anyone would pay that much for a fucking Beanie Baby. And I do remember this happening. I remember how it was such a big deal. People paying thousands of dollars for a fucking Beanie Baby. And I was like, it's a Beanie Baby.
Yeah. Good on you if you sold some Beanie Babies for some money.
If you got some cash, cool.
But if you're one of the suckers who bought a bunch of Beanie Babies for
thinking they were going to be collector's items?
I mean, come on.
Sorry for you. I hope you learned your lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sad. I don't like it. Anyway. The next one is about Raggedy Ann, and that it's based on a dead daughter. And apparently that's not true. That the guy, he put in his patent for Raggedy Ann dolls before his daughter actually died. Like, he did actually have a dead daughter. Yeah. I thought they were going to go into racist territory with it because I could see where that it could be like some kind of issue. But apparently not. Apparently it's just a doll that was like for his daughter or based on his daughter or something. And he thought it up before she passed. Okay, and so then I want to talk about the spy fur babies first. Okay. Even though they were number one on this list. That fur babies spy on you.
Or Furbies.
Oh, did I say fur babies?
Yes.
Sorry, I love my fur babies, but Furbies I did not love. Like, I think I wanted one because it was cool and everybody had one and they were kind of cute. I mean, I like talking animals that are weird.
Yeah, and they were the first of their kind, really.
Yeah, you'd never seen like a talking, and it would learn words and stuff. Yeah. But that's why they're saying it was spying on you, that it was some kind of, it was going to come to life and destroy everyone because it could speak language. Mm-hmm. So that was it. That was what they came up with. And I feel like that's something my parents probably believed. That maybe that's why I never got one, because they thought it was a spy for a bit, for baby Furby.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Or it could record something that they said and be used against them.
Exactly. Yeah. And we know how much they would hate that. If only I had more cassette tapes and was able to record stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I wanted to save Teddy Ruxpin for last because I loved Teddy Ruxpin. Now, my brother, it was his Teddy Ruxpin, but we would usually listen to the stories together because you take off his little vest, you pull it up, and you put a cassette tape in him, and then you play it, and he talks. And so he's telling these stories to you. Mm-hmm. And sometimes there's a book to go along with it. There was a cartoon. We had a video like we'd watch. I love Teddy Ruxpin. I thought he was cute and wonderful. They showed some abomination in this video that I was like, what is this bootleg Teddy Ruxpin? Sean told me that it is the new Teddy Ruxpin. He's shaggier, he looks cheaper, and he's thin.
Yeah.
So, not my Teddy Ruxpin. That's going to be one of the hashtags I use on Instagram for this. Hashtag not my Teddy Ruxpin. We're gonna post a photo.
The new one's expensive.
How much is he?
There's a 2017 one he's Bluetooth and has LED eyes. Get him on eBay for like $120 maybe. But I'm seeing also like $190.
I thought back in the day Teddy was like $60, and that was the most expensive toy we had ever had. And then along with that, so my brother had the Teddy Ruxpin. I had the Mother Goose. Do you know about this one?
I'm not sure I'm familiar with the Mother Goose.
Okay, you can look it up on your laptop while I talk. But it was a goose. And it was the same thing as Teddy Ruxpin, where she was like a hard body, and her mouth moved and she talked. You lift up her wing on the side. That's where you put the cassette in. The whole thing was there. Press play. She talks. Again, she had books. And so you could follow along the story as she told you by watching the books. And I think there was a cartoon of that too. But I had the Mother Goose and I absolutely loved her.
Talking Mother Goose doll. She look like a goose?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Maybe this is it.
Ah! That's her! Oh my god, look at her. She had the bonnet. Oh my god, look at her. Oh, I loved that Mother Goose.
Oh, yep, there's the cassette deck.
You lift up her wing. Oh my god. It's cool when I know that I'm not making stuff up. Yeah. It's really cool to see things I know that I experienced.
I think that does it for those for those ones at least.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to get into like real, well, I can't say real conspiracy theories, but maybe more like pop culture related or things like that. All right, we will be back. And we're back. Hailey is not pleased.
I believe I said, my God. That was fucking dumb.
I think one of the things you hate most about conspiracy theories is like the amount of time and effort that is spent on these things that could be spent on other worthwhile causes.
Yeah. Now look, I love to daydream. I will daydream sometimes all day, in and out of my own little consciousness as I do stuff. Love a good daydream. That's kind of a waste of time sometimes too. This is going above and beyond and just wasting so much time and energy. As dumb as these people are, they could have gone to school and actually learned things to make educated responses to things, even if they still felt that something that was happening wasn't happening. They would at least be more educated to be able to explain things better, or maybe explain things better to themselves. So much time is wasted.
Yeah.
So much energy used towards other things. These people, they could build houses for the homeless with this energy. They could do so many things.
Yeah.
It's fucking maddening. Truly, truly maddening.
Yeah, so we can like do a quick run through of some of these. I mean, of course, there's chemtrails.
Yeah, chemtrails that, airplanes and stuff, they're putting gross stuff in the air.
Yeah, when
to
you
make
see
you sick,
the lines behind planes, it's...
being toxic to you.
Yeah.
Guess what, y'all? You're eating food that has toxic chemicals on it.
Mm-hmm.
Does Monsanto ring a bell? You're doing it to yourselves. Airplanes don't have to do shit to you.
Yeah,
You're
true.
doing it to yourselves.
Fluoride is mind control.
No, it's not mind control. But there is the idea that fluoride in your water, like too much fluoride in your water, can cause thyroid-related issues and autoimmune diseases down the line. And
there's some different fluoride compounds that are worse than others and things of that nature.
And so, like, I have hypothyroidism. Well, I guess I had. I don't have a thyroid anymore. I had thyroid cancer. It was removed. But one of the things that has kind of connected stuff a little bit for me is this idea that too much fluoride can, cause these issues. But like the dentist always tells me I have good Midwestern teeth.
Yeah.
And apparently there's a lot of fluoride in the Midwest. And I don't know. Could be something. There could be something to it. But not mind control, you guys.
Yeah.
Not that.
Yeah, of course, then there's the Illuminati.
Beyonce is in the Illuminati.
Yeah. Like everybody with power and money is apparently in the Illuminati.
Anybody that's become famous is the Illuminati. I've heard of one that Justin Timberlake is. Yeah, just like everybody.
Well, they're either Illuminati or they're a lizard person.
Right, which is the next one, is that some guy's going around saying everybody's a lizard person, a shape-shifting lizard person.
That are also pedos.
Yeah, that are also pedophiles. That's a lot to take on,
that stuff keeps coming up,
I have
too.
to be a shape-shifting lizard person and a pedophile?
Well, plus, and then like the new one is also that cannibals then too. Like I think Hillary Clinton is, or I don't know, or Pelosi or somebody's like a pedophile cannibal, eats the child that they have sex with.
I feel like
It's
this
insane.
is like a whole bunch of stupid people who think that they would taste good and that they would be the first person the cannibals would come after. They would have the sweetest meat. I can assure you that you do not. You're marinated in nasty ass beer and Funyuns. Your meat is not going to taste good. You're going to be the driest, most disgusting thing, and no cannibal is going to want you.
I don't know if they've been drinking sweet tea all this time.
A good tea brine is not too bad. I'll give you that.
Oh man.
You got me, Sean. I guess you proved it right. Cannibals for the win.
All right, next up, Target is making your children gender confused because Target works for Satan and Target is doing
Non-gender specific toys and clothing and such. This is just like every Baptist person I grew up going to church with in Texas had a thought in their head, and this is what they came up with, because this was like not even the gender specific stuff, just the fact that Satan was in all pop culture, all media, and that kind of thing. Like I've told you, I wasn't allowed to listen to heavy metal or any kind of rock music growing up because my dad believed it was the music of Satan, and he didn't want me to become a satanic drug addict. And that's what he thought listening to heavy metal and rock music would make someone. So he drafted a contract that I had to sign as a child stating that I would never listen to hard rock, heavy metal, whatever. And I had to sign it.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I believe that this is what people are saying because I know people who have said this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then there's apparently some of these are just fucking crazy. The Middle Ages never happened, and it's actually the year 1719.
Yeah, that's just stupid. It's just stupidity. Parading around trying to get attention. No, fuck off. You know what? You think the Middle Ages didn't happen? Go jump off a pier. I'm sorry. We don't need you here. I don't want you making children. If you're going to be that stupid, you don't need to procreate. For reals. We don't need that. Let's try to make America smart again. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed. And then the Queen is a cannibal.
Which we've kind of discussed.
Yeah, I mean, she's already a lizard person, so obviously she's a cannibal.
Yeah. Do lizards eat meat? Do some lizards eat meat?
Yeah, for sure.
I had a lizard, but he only ate like fruit and lettuce and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like Komodo dragons and Gila monsters and stuff.
You say Gila?
Yeah.
I thought it was Gila monsters. So, lizards can be cannibals.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Or cannibals?
Can lizards be cannibals? I imagine if you eat meat, you might turn cannibal.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't... Yeah, I guess I was thinking more about, like,
I mean, didn't those
just meat
people
eating versus
that
cannibal.
went down in the plane crash in the snow, they ended up eating each other, right? Because they didn't have anything else. That was a movie, right?
I mean...
Did it
like,
really happen?
alive?
Was it based on a true story?
Yeah.
I would not eat people. I'm sorry. No Soylent Green for me.
Apparently there's some Aegean wall lizards that are cannibals, apparently.
Okay, there you go. Lizard people can also be cannibals. I
been
guess
proven
we've
true.
proven this theory.
But the next one's about like a time cube. I had no idea.
I didn't even. That one
Yeah.
was too stupid to even spend time on.
Too stupid.
It was just too stupid. I didn't even write it down.
Yeah.
That's how dumb it was.
Pyramids.
Pyramids are somehow some kind of scheme or
Yeah.
futuristic thing of the Illuminati.
I think it's pretty much proven in all of the cultures that made pyramids. They just had a lot of slaves.
Yeah. They had someone else do their work for them.
Yeah.
And they didn't care who did it as long as it got done.
Yeah,
And they made everybody work on it.
Yeah.
We know that. Yeah, see, it's not, there's no conspiracy.
Pyramids work. I mean, structurally, they work.
Sound, yes.
And if you got enough, disposable labor, you can make them. And then the next one was like the Large Hadron Collider is actually being used to summon the Egyptian god of death.
Which, again, ridiculous. That's Dobby getting up because he's been too restless.
Yeah, it's dinner time for him, so.
They've had enough of our shit, you guys. This is a hungry little chihuahua.
And the last one was like that human flight is fake. Like, airplanes aren't real.
That people have never been in the air. And as a person who's been in the air, I just want to say that's false. Like, I've been in the air. And they're saying that airplanes are just really fast rail trains with really great TV screens that make you believe you're in the air. And if that's the case, what's the deal with the pressure changes? Why does my fucking head hurt so much until my ears pop when I'm in the sky?
Yeah.
And also, like, how would you get over an ocean? Railroads can't go over ocean.
Maybe there aren't actually oceans, Hailey. Maybe this is also part of flat earthers. Who knows,
Oh, Lord have mercy. See? So much time wasted. So they could just look at a fucking globe and know that they're fucking wrong. I just don't understand that.
That's just, Hailey, you're just parroting what people have told you, that the earth is round. You just still parrot, caw, the earth is round. Well, maybe you need to think about it more. Maybe the earth is actually flat.
Yeah, but it's not. It's round. You can look at it and see that it's round. You can take a picture of it and see that it's round.
That's all been faked. Just like the moon landing. You're just being led astray. You're letting the fluoride control your mind and make you believe all these things. Come on, jeez.
If y'all could see the look.
Give me a look.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna put this fluoride up your ass. My God. It's just, it just irritates me so much. And also, like, if it was just a train, why would it take less time to get where you're going? If we were in a train, it would take forever. But if we can fly, it's only a few hours. Case in point, when I moved from Boston to back here, and I was on a train for like 3.5 days.
That's a regular train, not a high-speed train.
Whatever the fuck. Okay, but without changing planes, I can fly from here to Boston in like 6 hours. There's a huge difference. Massive difference. And as much as I hate flying, I fucking hate riding on trains. And maybe I'll tell you about my train experience sometime. But I don't know if I can today. It was 3.5 days existing on a bottle of water and like a gas station sandwich and a very expensive chicken dinner that took all of our money. We didn't know it was going to be so expensive.
That's rough.
Yeah, it was rough. And we had to sleep in shifts so no one would steal our shit. I had to brush my teeth in the bathroom on the train that everybody was using. It was nasty. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Hate trains. Anyway, I guess I've basically told you everything about it now. That's all you need to know. And guess what? There were no ATMs in South Dakota at the train station when we stopped for a moment to take on other passengers. Because I was looking for money so we could have ourselves another chicken dinner. Because that was tasty. But $11 a meal was too much for me back then. We had like zero money.
Oh, yeah.
And if I could just go to an ATM, I had a few dollars I could take out. So we could have another chicken dinner to get us through. And there was no ATMs. There was no way to get money.
Yeah, that sucks.
And this was before cell phones. This was before lappy toppies all the time. This was like, we didn't have anything.
Yeah. You couldn't just PayPal him some money.
No.
No Venmo.
No, and I had already got money from my grandma so my friend and I could move back here. And yeah, that paid for the train tickets. It was not a good time to be Hailey.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
All right, so don't trust your toys. Everybody in Disney's related.
Yeah.
You know.
The Illuminati are all around you.
Illuminati, lizard people
eat
cannibals.
Meat. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There's the Middle Ages are a lie.
Target is the work of Satan.
Yeah.
So watch out.
If that's
it's everywhere.
the work of Satan, I don't want to be on the heavenly side. Because the cute things at Target and the deals you can get, I mean, if that's wrong, I don't want to be right. I love Target.
All right, I think that wraps it up.
Oh shit, really?
We can
Damn.
always recover anything we missed in our
You know,
mini
like
episode.
with Sasquatches and UFOs and Wendigos and things like that, there's a name. It's like there's some kind of zoology name. What is it?
Yeah, like cryptozoology.
Yeah, so maybe I don't hate cryptozoology.
Yeah.
But it might be fun to talk about it sometime.
Okay.
So
yeah,
put that on your list.
We put that out, even on the mini episode. We could talk about some of our favorite cryptozoological entities.
Okay, that sounds good.
Dobby's getting real anxious now.
Okay, well, I guess we will end it here. This has been really fun. I've enjoyed this one. It's been insano, and there have been bright spots and very dark situations presented to us. But I would love to hear your favorite conspiracy theories.
Yes.
If anything stood out to you from these, if you remember, you know, if it gives you some kind of story from your childhood, or it makes you think of something that you heard, or, you know, even something you believe in, I won't call you stupid to your face. I'll do it behind your back.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
They might be able to do anonymous from our website if you don't want to be identified as...
Oh, okay.
I think you can leave a comment anonymously, I believe. Perhaps.
On the website.
Yeah, I think so.
Because when this goes up, we get a post out on our website, HaileyHatesEverything.com, and apparently you can maybe leave an anonymous comment there if you don't want me to know what you're really believing in, you crazy person. So that would be cool. You can also email us at HaileyHatesEverything@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And of course, I'll be posting stuff on Instagram. If you want to message me, jump in the DMs and let me know what you think about this podcast, what conspiracy theories you're loving, what are you crushing on right now.
Yeah.
Let me know. Well, let us know, because we will both talk about it. But I'm very curious. And yeah, I guess that's it for this week. But I look forward to coming back next week and chit-chatting about all kinds of things.
Hopefully this was a little more lighthearted and not getting into conspiracy theories that might cause you depression and things of that nature.
Yeah, I guess I usually lean towards the side of depression. You know me. So yeah, I did like the lightheartedness of it. I tried to yes and some of it. I don't know if you noticed that. Instead of just talking facts, I tried to just yes and it and go with it. So that made it fun. But anyway, you guys, I hate to say goodbye because we had a lot of fun with this time. But well, I guess we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.